Hey, welcome. This is the Department for Urban Sanity. Here we'll be talking about mostly things related to mental health within urban spaces. We'll be interviewing a series of artists. We'll be talking specifically about the South African context and learning from other cities. This is a critical response to crisis. Welcome to the ground. It's a war. But we are absolutely positive that through the resonances of sound and dialogue and art, we can shift consciousness, unite thinking, and alter reality. Because why not? So hopefully the music will also be inspiring you to join us. Think about dreaming, because that's where we depart from. Welcome to the Department for Urban Sanity. This is our first draft and an introduction to the show about what we do. I think truth and honesty and integrity and the brutality of error is definitely top of the list. As mentioned, we're called the Department for Urban Sanity, and what that means is that we are possibly satirically inserting ourselves into the linguistic programming of the bureaucracy. Explaining that like you're 5 for all the cool kid Redditors, but everyday listeners is we got some echo chambers in the form of leftover governance issues in our country. And this is not a unique issue to South Africa. It's a global condition that exists within cities and countries. You see it in borders. You see it in the wars. You see it in resources. We see it in everyday issues. And having survived COVID or continuously surviving COVID, we recognize that there are issues. And we'll be talking to that. And by doing that, we're hoping to provide a level of sanity, clarity for all the disparity. Yeah, so there'll be some poetry now that we're on that topic. We are a series that is dedicated to the creative economy at the same time, creative entrepreneurship, shared learning, shared resources, gender-based violence, trans lives, black trans lives. And we'll be speaking to various people from various backgrounds to help us unpack various situations that would help you and me to dismantle the bureaucracies that overshadow a future of dreaming. And as we said, we are a radio station dedicated to dreaming, and we can only be sane if we are creating spaces where dreams can not only be experienced, but they can be developed and realized into presence. So join us for some more fun tunes and some interesting topics, because this is human radio.
Gotta relax. This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
Human music. I like it.
song by Naas, Mungo Im, and another magical SoundCloud discovery. Onwards to the more poetic side of what we are doing here. We are going to be sharing a reading that we did online this year, June 16th, 2021. Like I have been mentioning, the Department for Urban Sanity is here to deal with past traumas. Like, this is a safe space, in a way. Hoping not to hurt your ears in any way, mastering to the max. But also just unpacking our history. June 16, I'm sure a lot of people know it, but if you don't, it was a day where the youth protested the education system in power that was predominantly and only Afrikaans, in fact, where children were taught in Afrikaans and therefore couldn't be educated because this wasn't their language of home origin or educational origin. It served no purpose and it was a waste of time, and kids got mad and rioted and people shot them. And so we commemorate this day because it allowed the kids to radically dream about a future. And so we are going to be sharing a reading from that day by one of the invited artists, Lafoy, a South African poet, rapper, writer, performance artist from Durban. And her book is called Queen, Shalabeama, and the Star Children. And it's a really beautiful story, and we're only going to be sharing a portion of it, chapter 5. And we're hoping that you'll go find some more about her reading and find inspiration in the children she's inspiring and the future she's trying to create.
Okay. So, I had planned to read from chapters 1 to 7, as that is 30 minutes. So I'm just going to continue chapter 5. Is that okay? Start at chapter 5. Okay. Welcome back. I hope the sound is dope this time. Chapter 5. Turquoise had fallen asleep next to her cousin. They were watching a movie after dinner and enjoyed the comfortable couch. All 4 children were sprawled across the couches and mattresses. It was summer, and so the children kicked most of the blankets off. Surprised that her cousins didn't hear the noise, Turquoise woke, rather startled, to the sound of a big bird tapping at her window. She thought she was dreaming until the bird said, "Turquoise, it's time." Somehow she wasn't as surprised as she might have been. Lately, she'd had really interesting dreams, and this just felt like one of them. "I've brought you some very berry cranberry to help you fly." "Very berry cranberry? Jeepers, is it safe?" "Yes," the bird replied. "It's made from the best cranberries in the whole of Palin." Turquoise hadn't heard of this place before, but something in the bird's eyes told her she could trust him. He was a talking bird, after all. As the blue blackbird and Turquoise flew to where the others were, she noted how peaceful the world looked, asleep. Just beyond the horizon, they landed on a mountaintop where other children had gathered. She recognized some of them from her dream about the classroom in the garden. As everyone stood around, unsure of what would happen next, the blue blackbird suddenly changed into a person before their eyes. "My name is Starforce. I, together with the forces of nature, under the mothership of Mother Nature and Papa Time, have been sent to fetch you all. Perhaps you may recognize each other from the dreams you've had. I don't want you to stand out here on the mountaintop for too long. The wind is starting to pick up. So please, hold each other's hand and form a circle." "Like ring-a-rosies," one of the little children to Turquoise's left said, with a giggle. "Yes, exactly like ring-a-rosies," said Starforce, momentarily known as Blue Blackbird a few minutes before. My name's Canti, said a little boy the same age as Turquoise, as he held out his hand to greet her. You were playing with your magic set in my dream, said Turquoise, excited to see a real person match someone she saw in a dream. That's right. I'm Canti, and I saw you in my dream too. You were watching me in the garden class. I'm Turquoise. Nice to meet you. Again. The two of them smiled, happy to reconnect with a familiar face. They held hands and formed part of the bigger circle of children, standing on top of a mountain in the middle of a warm summer's night. Right. Everyone, start moving the circle to your left. Start slowly, then move faster. As the children did this, they started to lift off the ground, and when the circle was moving really fast, they heard a sharp sound and disappeared from the sight of the mountain. Chapter 6. The children must have played ring-a-rosies because they were on the floor, all still in a circle, having just woken up. Good morning, she said. I trust you traveled well. My name is Queen Shalabeama, and you are the star children. Do you remember, Pauline? If you have a look around, you'll see we're in the training grounds, where you will find many classrooms and exercises designed to strengthen your powers while you are here. The neighboring planets are home to the rest of the forces of nature, while they're not busy putting things in order back on Earth. You will be taught by only the best. Papa Time will teach you about timing and divine synchronicity. Mother Nature will teach you about the animals and plants and why they are important for all life. Star Force, oh, he's a naughty little bird, she said with a smile, woke you up from your sleep, and he will be teaching you about the zodiac and elements. Memory banks will teach you about the importance of remembering. And love power, well, you'll find her along the way. Any questions? Yes, said a rather inquisitive voice coming from the face of a little boy not that much older than Canti and Turquoise. Why are we here? Ah, very good question, my love. It is my duty to train you for the new age back on Earth. You see, you've lived on Earth before, but not in such exciting times as this. And so the rest of the Earth reawakens to the power of love. Sorry, there was a very loud bird that decided to make its presence known outside the window. We hear you, giant bird. We hear you. Thank you for joining us. You see, you've lived on Earth before, but not in such exciting times as this. And so as the rest of the Earth reawakens to the power of love and imagination, so you, the star children, must be there to guide them along the way. And so it is my duty as your queen to serve and prepare you for your return on Earth. But aren't queens supposed to be served by others? Continued the little boy. Another good question, said Queen Shalabeama. A true queen knows how to serve. And in your case, young one, a true king knows how to serve. Come along, children. The children numbered 50 altogether. It seemed like more had joined them after they'd woken up to the training grounds of Pauline. Walking along a field, they saw a forest before them. As they got deeper into the forest, it got darker, as the tall trees blocked out most of the sunlight above them. In what felt like a second, an old man with a beard that reached his belly appeared before them. Hello, I am Papa Time. I have been around since the very beginning. I am in charge of time and divine meetings. Now tell me, have you ever seen someone after thinking about them? or got something after wanting it? Or better yet, have you met people in a place you didn't expect to meet them, but were happy you met them in the end? Yes, answered most of the children, still wondering what that had to do with time. Well, you see, just as these trees are connected to each other beneath the ground, all time and events that happen in and out of time happen for a reason. Sometimes you may not know the reason immediately, but after some time, you begin to see how it all fits in. Any questions? The children were quiet. Right then, I'll be here if you need me. Enjoy meeting memory banks.
was Tycho, Spectre, the Bibio remix, to Cloud, To conclude the reading by Lex Lafoy, artist, poet, rapper, writer, performer, and creative project manager from Durban, who read from her self-published book, Queen Shalabeama and the Star Children. And wow, I think every time I listen to it and I mix it into a song like that, it just gives me goosebumps. Dreaming what education could be like for kids, could be like for young people. And as a country that's been not only affected by a traumatic past, but is constantly on a daily basis being affected by, as we mentioned earlier, access to internet. For example, having a lockdown, living within a township, not being able to afford data, living in one of the world's most expensive data countries ever. It's really difficult, and education has obviously taken a big buff and to the face with that. So we're working as a team to facilitate spaces like that and sharing information. Platform, also an educational platform. There's so much to do, and sometimes it feels like there's so little time that we're here sharing with you. And you can find out more about this particular project, which is called the Wombanifestos, which was a response to gender-based violence through the creation of a manifesto that then, through this query, transformed into what we call the Wombanifesto, in response to the womb being the first room that is not gender specific. It is a space made by men and women that gives birth to men and women and trans children, who then also create men and women or trans children from all parts of the world. And as mentioned, it was a query between two women that then manifested into a series of workshops and an exhibition and an encounter with where we need to be and how we need to be there a little bit more, and research questions and reports and stuff. But I mean, go see our website. It's in the links. And now onwards to more music. Let's shift this up a little bit. We've been dreaming, but another part of our workshop process is called developing. So let's develop this into presence and power. I think that's where I want to leave you all with a sense of power to keep dreaming. And hopefully this reading inspired you, and hopefully the music will keep doing so. So enjoy. the Chill Children by JHFLY, just kind of staying in line with the theme of youth, theme of relaxing into your dreams. But to focus a little more on the creative entrepreneurship side, this station wouldn't be the station that it is if we weren't here to impart skills and information and access and knowledge. And because we're starting off with the first one, and our methodology really has to do with breathing in and breathing out, creating healthy boundaries with space and place and connecting with yourself, but also envisioning future, which is a principle imparted through various business thinking tools and such. So we're just here to put forward the vocabulary of envisioning. And by doing that, maybe helping you on your creative journey to do an envisioning exercise with us. And so the topic of envisioning, we align to dreaming because it really has to do with the start of a feeling about where you are in the world and where you see yourself being in the world. And the reason we do this in creative entrepreneurship spaces is because it's really great to go back and reflect on it, because it helps you form what businesses come forward with in everyday pitches or places or team sessions or just your website, is your mission and your vision. Like, who do you serve and how do you do it? What do you do and why do you do it? It's essentially the core why. But how we find the core why is through envisioning. And a very nice way to do it is usually through writing. If you're an artist, perhaps you like to draw it, drawing your dreams. But we do this by focusing on a future 25 years from now. And we're going to make it specific to apartheid right now, because we have an issue in our country that is people complaining about, hey, democracy has been around for 27 years, therefore, surely everything's fine. But then we forget that apartheid was around for 46 years. And also have to think about psychoanalytical and psychotherapy and psychotraumatic issues, whereas I could be traumatized for 20 years of my life and it's not going to take me 20 years to fix myself. I might be traumatized for life. And similarly, the remedies of time are not enough to fix the scars that have been etched into this country. So we want to take a moment to think about a future 27 years from now and write it into being. Much of what was discussed within our workshop spaces of the Wombanifesto was often how, as artists and writers and thinkers and creatives, even songwriters and poets and architects and craftswomen and businesswomen and men and trans people, we have the ability to manifest the reality we want to see ourselves in, and to really take the time to define that and fold it up on a piece of paper and keep it somewhere or put it on your wall and remind yourself. Might not seem so relevant or empowering right now, but it definitely instills within your mind a new pattern of thinking that enables you to, say, access that place that doesn't exist as of yet or is on its way to existing. But what I found interesting is when I revisit those writings and those places that I've literally gone and documented the dream. Even this sound space which we are creating is that. It's like the possibility of dreaming together. This is what we envision this podcast, this radio station will be, is dreaming South Africa that is addressing socio-cultural, socio-spatial, political issues through communication, because not enough dialogue has taken place. Not enough safe conversation has taken place. People are sitting in their houses, echoing one another. Racism perpetuates, hate perpetuates. And we want to break that down, and we can do that through the sound waves. And from myself recording on a tape since I was a kid to being here, it's all possible. And so we want you to dream and then restructure your dream into a vision of, say, 5 sentences to 20 sentences, to as many as you want. I envision a world where, I envision a me where, I envision a we where, we that, we how. And from this, you can skip all the steps you want. You don't even have to listen to the next podcast, but that is a really great foundation from which to depart in how you do what you do, why you do it. You might be knitting gloves, making masks, selling sunglasses, making your own podcast. There's a reason why you're doing it. Whether it just brings you up in the morning and gives you great joy, or whether it's to transform the world. Doesn't matter. We're doing it, and it's contributing to the energy of transformation that is human energy. So let's withdraw from the now into the future, and then we come back. So some calm truths, idle withdrawal to host you in your exercise of envisioning the dream. That was Calm Truise, Idle Withdrawal. And as mentioned, breathing in and breathing out, remember that as a guiding force here also. Come to, come through, and go again. And I've been able to breathe in a little bit of an idea of what we'll be talking about. You've been able to breathe in your own dreams and your own visions, and breathe in some new music, some new information about where we're coming from and about yourself. We're going to be closing it off. We've online ourselves to the platform, to you, and we'll be unpacking in our next episode principles of empathy through music and developing the dream through empathy. So workshop with us, come play with us. This is also a fun space. Connect with us. The Department for Urban Sanity has all the links embedded, and we'll be sharing more of our recordings from past moments. We've got some really cool footage just of sound spaces that we've been able to create in collaboration with other artists and other people. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to close off now with a final tune. What will it be? I've been your host, Ilse Vessels, and I hope we've been traveling on the ship of sound together to a new space, a dreamy place where we can revolutionize and exist in harmony with the human race. Good night, goodbye, good morning, good evening, so long, farewell. Sayonara. This is Fakear, Morning in Japan.